going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is the day the dealership is coming to pick the HELLCAT up to inspect all the damage that was caused by the brake fluid when they left the bleeder screw undone. So they're coming to pick it up. I could have driven it up there and then I would have had to find a ride home, which they're like 35 to 45 minutes away, and I didn't really want to have to deal with the hassle of doing that. So they're going to pick it up and inspect all the damage that was caused. So we are going to kind of hopefully resolve all of this issues. Oh, that's a piece of dust. This one's not. We're going to resolve all of this issue with the clear peeling, or like the little bubbles in the clear. I did get an article from a subscriber that said when the paint actually does this, it has degraded the clear coat, and eventually it'll start to cause big problems. So they're going to look at it, decide what they want to do. They're definitely going to have to either refinish or give me a new wheel, because this wheel down here is, you can see it's so bad. It's just bad. So yeah, they're gonna have to do something about the wheel. So I just looked at the black key because I haven't actually even pulled it out of the drawer since I took the car to the dealership, and it still has a tag on there, which is funny because I never even, once I got the red key, I just pretty much threw this thing in my truck, and I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna use this thing again. But since the dealership's getting it back, they only get the 500 horsepower key. So I wish I could give them the valet key. Ooh, that's sketchy.
So stupid coming up through here.
Yeah.
One says north, one says east, north, and then they stagger.
Yeah, that's not the worst of it. Highway 50, there's 3 of them.
Yeah, right. Who are you dealing with down there?
Goodbye, HELLCAT. See you sometime soon. Back up at the Dodge dealership, it has been around 2 weeks they've had the HELLCAT, and since they've had it, all they've told me they've done to it is refinish the passenger side wheel, which they were supposed to look at the paint and all of this stuff, but then they called me yesterday, tell me to come pick the car up, that the manager hasn't even looked at the car, that I need to speak with him, and I'm not exactly sure what's going on. So what's going to happen today is I'm going to go talk to the manager, see what they're going to say about the HELLCAT, and then we'll kind of decide what's going on with it, what I'm going to proceed to do with it. Sure, of that red HELLCAT, wide body.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go take a look. Let me set this down with the tag.
Yeah.
He's got the wheel all fixed. And I was going to show me what we're seeing on the paint.
Okay. So these white dots, they come off of your fingernail, but if you look under like one of those old people magnifying glasses,
Yeah.
it's like a hole. It's like because what I think happened was the wheel got so saturated in brake fluid, it just turned it into a mist.
Yeah, which brake fluid's not going to do anything to this paint.
And you could see them right here where they buffed it off, and then they're little tiny, all these spots right here. See how they're holes in the clear? I've already talked to somebody that paints cars, and they said it degrades the clear. I mean, brake fluid is known. There's an article I found that also says the same thing.
Yeah, if
So
it's left there for a long time, yeah, it can.
I mean, it was only there for probably about, I'd say 5 to 10 minutes until I noticed it, because I felt the car, it was starting to pull to the left, like this caliper wasn't even working.
Yeah.
So I got out and checked the car, and then the whole wheel was coated in brake fluid. So, and I mean, it wasn't like it was a little bit of brake fluid. The whole reservoir was empty. I had to fill it so I could get home. And I had to borrow a wrench and tighten that bleeder screw. So
They were saying it's all over the car?
I mean, yeah, those little spots are all over the car. There's some back here. They're on the trunk.
Is there any that looks more like fit out to our body shop and have them look at it? then see if they can buff it or actually clay bar it, because that's usually the only thing that clears that stuff out of it. See what they say.
I mean, I thought that's what you guys were already gonna do. I can't believe this thing's been here for, what,
Well,
2 weeks now?
I was getting real fixed. But I didn't see anything that, I mean, it looks like stuff like flakes on it, but from my 16 years of doing this stuff, it doesn't look like brake fluid ruined any paint. You know what I mean? But getting the wheel fixed too simple. I mean, I can send it out to them and have them see what they say about it. But I've been around, I was a tech for 10 years, lots of brake fluid on the cars, and I've never seen anything ever deteriorate the paint. Unless it's left there for weeks, you know what I mean? Yeah, it clears pretty strong. I mean, it's not...
Yeah, so is brake fluid. It's a chemical reaction. It has glycol in it.
Yeah, it is. But it has to be like left there.
Well, it's not the amount of period of time it's left there. It also relies on heat. If it's a hot day, which it was, I mean,
Like I said, I can send it to the body shop, have them look at it, see what they think. Go from there. But I'm not a body guy, unfortunately. I don't know everything about body work. Yeah, because I had them fully detail it, and I just didn't see anything that was what I can determine as a brake fluid on the car kind of issue.
yeah, I mean, I'd have the body shop look at it, see what they say.
Because I use status symbol up here, so and they do all our warranty paint work and stuff, so
Yeah.
I can send it up to them and see. I can personally take it up there and see what they say. So here's the two options I have. I can buff that area, and I do that whole side, or I can cut you a check for $400 and call it done.
Sir, now that you've got your check, do you plan on quitting your job driving this truck?
I don't even think $400 would be sufficient.
That's my offer. Do that, or I can buff it, but I don't. If it ends up being clear coat, no, I'm not doing all that because I don't think it caused any damage beyond that point. And
So
I
even
don't
if
think it
even
caused
if they
all that.
buffed it and they said that there was degradation beyond the clear and they could still see it in the clear, you would still say that it's not caused by the brake fluid.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man.
Even if you guys gave me $400 and then gave me the money back for the work, which the work was shoddy anyway, to my view,
I mean,
that would still
I
like
don't think-
$1,400
I don't
bucks.
think all the
I
other
spent
stuff we did.
I spent like $40,000 in parts. Plus, I bought a $18,000 Scat Pack.
Yeah, from here.
No, I have a deal going with Dodge, so.
So that's not necessarily with our store. I mean, with our store, we do a key program. That key
Well, I
works,
mean,
right?
Just because it's not with your store, you're representing Dodge as a
But we're still an independent franchise. It's not a.
franchise or not. It's their Dodge's reputation.
I mean, that's my offer. So that's where I'm at.
You have techs out there working on $80,000 cars, even though it's a salvage car. Yeah, that's
I
not.
don't care about the salvage part, and it's not.
Well,
Obviously,
that you
our
brought.
intention's not to.
I mean, you brought that up before.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, you have certified techs out there working on cars that I did a better job when I ripped the whole car apart and put it back together. I mean, none of my ABS lines are leaking. None of that stuff's leaking. And none of the engine lines are leaking.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to turn this into a pissing match over my technicians or whatever. So it is what it is.
Did a good job execution.
If that's how you feel. That's fine.
Well, I brought my car here because I didn't want to bring it to Pueblo because they're incompetent, but it seems like.
And I know the guys down there, and I've never had any issues down there. So.
Well, I mean, I guess you probably would say you never had any issues here either. Picking the HELLCAT up from the dealership, and as you saw, we took it over to the body shop, and the body shop said that there's etching in the clear all over the car. I talked to the service manager here. He pretty much told me that they're not going to do anything about it. Even if the body shop went and buffed it and they still saw etching in the clear, he wouldn't pay to paint it. So that goes to show you, we're over here at Perkins Motors Dodge in Colorado Springs. So the HELLCAT, what I'm gonna do now is I already lost a lug nut once because I didn't torque the wheels. I brought a torque wrench. Driving the Hellcat home, pretty disappointed in how the dealership handled the situation. I thought that after admitting fault to the wheel, the brake fluid, all that stuff, that they would then go and actually fix their mistake. Then we go to the body shop. The body shop says there's etching in the clear. The guy's like, okay. And then we get back to the dealership. He's like, I'll give you $400. Oh yeah, an $80,000 car. The paint job's probably like 25 grand, but you know, I'll just give you 400 bucks. So really, after they admitted fault so many times, even saying that the paint, if they buffed it and there was still etching in the clear, that they would do nothing about it, was pretty ridiculous to me. I don't know what you guys think. I know there's a lot of people that will probably be like, well, you're just crying about it. But I mean, it's still, at the end of the day, this car, even with the salvage title, is worth like 60 grand. So we are going home. We'll figure out what we're gonna do with the Hellcat. But I think, you know, we'll figure something out with it. So let's get to ripping this thing. I actually have it again. It's been 2 weeks, so I actually can drive it and have some fun with it. Got back home with the Hellcat, and one thing I just noticed. So what they did was this wheel, all the powder coat was peeling off of it, or whatever coating they coat these with was peeling off of it, and it looked really, really bad from the brake fluid. They refinished the wheel, and I just noticed this wheel back here has metallic in it, and the finish is like really nice and smooth and shiny. And this one they finished is like a matte gray, and it's not shiny at all. It's like probably the cheapest thing they could have done. And yeah, this is pretty ridiculous. So the wheel, even though they re-powder coated it, they powder coated it the wrong color. The paint, you know, the whole situation with the paint is you know, really, really bothers me. But another thing about this is when I took the car, or sent the car up there, they came and picked it up with a rollback. This car was perfectly clean. There was no water spots on it. There was no dust on it.
Because I had them fully detail it.
There's all kinds of water spots. It looks like they let it sit outside one day, maybe in the snow. Also, it almost looks like they just like sprayed some stuff on the engine bay and like pressure washed it or something. It looks really bad, whatever they did to it. And then the interior, they also got some weird stuff on the dash. It's like really, really metallic-y. It's like a bunch of, like, they had the window down when I went in there, and this interior was perfectly clean. I just put it back together, and it's all dusty and everything, and it's just pretty ridiculous that dealerships are supposed to be the best thing, and they always pride themselves in how they're better than mom and pop shops. But I bet if I took this to any backyard mechanic, they would have done a better job than the dealership. And it's pretty sad that they won't fix their mistake even after admitting to it. So I guess I'm gonna, you know, be done with this whole rant. I'll just have to fix this myself, which is pretty ridiculous in my eyes. But I am just glad that I have the Hellcat back. It was just, you know, 2 weeks I didn't have it for pretty much nothing. Never take your car to the dealership. Look at this. They got like some weird stuff all over my Alcantara on my door panel. That's gonna pretty much conclude this episode. It really is disappointing about the paint, but we'll resolve this issue later. The new fenders, new hood, and some other parts that I ordered are now on their way. So crossing my fingers, I get a good set of fenders and a good hood, so I can finally get the front of this painted. What I'm gonna have to do is, most likely I'll just blend into the door, and then I'll just start re-clearing stuff. After I buff the whole car, I'll figure out what panels actually really need attention from the brake fluid. The whole body shop thing, they said that there's etching in the clear, and that even if it's buffed, the etching might not go away. So the first thing to do with this is buffing it and see where we get from there. Obviously the dealership wasn't very helpful, even though it was their mistake. So if you like these videos, make sure to click the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, comment below, and as always, see you guys tomorrow.